used to think manifestation was for people who had better intuition than me. That people were just born knowing how to attract what they want, while the rest of us had to work harder, think smarter, and gather more proof. Then I tracked my own results, every manifestation that actually worked, over 3 decades, and found the pattern. 5 elements were always present. I had clarity about the exact outcome. I trusted my intuition despite everyone's doubt. I read the evidence the universe kept showing me. I held unshakable belief in the process. And I took consistent action even when logic screamed at me to stop. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modern Wisdom with Dawn Ricci. I'm Dawn, and that's when it hit me. I realized this wasn't just for that one breakthrough. This was literally a roadmap, a manifestation quotient intelligence system, and it meant every single desire I had, every ideal relationship, thriving business, financial freedom, they were all just puzzles with the same 5 pieces. So each episode of this podcast, we're now going to examine how these dimensions show up in real life and how they test what strengthens us and track what gets in our way. Let's face it, we all don't need more woo-woo affirmations to make a better life for ourselves. We need to understand the system. Let's get started. I just finished a recording for my latest episode of Modern Wisdom with Dawn Ricci. And it's going to change how I see my home forever. Okay, so literally, because I'm washing my face, just washed my face, and I had to decide what I'm going to say for my introduction. And I just figured that I had to wait till after this because it's just so powerful. So I needed a minute to process what just happened. Anyway, here's what I thought about Feng Shui. I thought it was all about moving your couch and hanging crystals and maybe adding some plants. I was wrong. About 20 minutes into our conversation, Zuzanna dropped a bomb. She said there are 4 types of houses, and every single one of them we live in right now. So here goes. Just listen up. This is real quick. Good for people and good for money. Good for people, bad for money. Bad for people, good for money. Bad for people and bad for money. She grew up in a house that was bad for people but good for money. And they never struggled financially. But the arguments and tension was constant, even today. So I immediately thought about my own apartment, the one that was mine the second I walked into it, the one I manifested, and the one I can't sleep in. It's been 2 months we moved here, and it's been tough. But here's what really got me about this Feng Shui. It's not woo-woo. It's science. And Zuzanna explained it all through it's through our nervous system. And when your space is cluttered and chaotic, or things aren't in the right places that you want, your nervous system is stressed. And when your nervous system can't calm down, you don't make good decisions, which means you don't sleep well. You don't attract the right opportunities. It's cause and effect. It's observable. It's logical. And get this, she grew her Instagram account from 300 followers to 18,000 in 2 months after renovating one specific area of her home. The area that corresponds to fame and recognition. This conversation covered money blocks, career stagnation, why hotels mess with your sleep, and the biggest mistakes people are making just trying to fix their home's energy. Join me for this next episode. It's going to change how you see every room in your house, and plan on grabbing somebody to help you move some furniture and change it all up. Susanna, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today, all the way from the UK. So it's pretty late by you, right?
Well, 6 p.m., so it's
Ah,
not too bad.
okay. So we're good. So my first question, I'm right out of the gate. Like, let's just jump in. What does Feng Shui actually do? Because I think a lot of people here, they hear the
It's a mystery,
term.
isn't it?
It is, and they immediately think it's either complicated or just a little too woo-woo, and break it
Mm.
all down for us.
So there's many schools of Feng Shui, but originally it's coming from China, which everybody of course know, and it's been created thousand and thousand years ago when they kind of Chinese started to observe like farmers, which farmers are getting better crop than others, and they started to observe like how their houses are located, which they're facing, do they have a mountain, do they have a river? And basically that is what Feng Shui is. It's really all about farming. And it's all about how we position our house so that the energy, the positive energy, kind of helps us. And that is really what it's all about. So it's all about where our house is, how the energy is entering our house, and how it's going around it. So it comes in the most auspicious way. And there's many schools of Feng Shui that you will come across. So you will find people, they will have a very certain way of doing things with lots of ceremonies and lots of rituals that you have to perform. I kind of look at something that's called a flying stars Feng Shui, where I look at the exact location of the house that I'm analyzing. I'm looking when it was built. And basically, it gives me kind of like a trapped energy that basically, when the roof came on that property, it kept certain energy within that house. And then we know that every year, obviously, things are changing. Where like the sun is moving, the moon is kind of in a different position, and that's called flying stars. So we're flying those auspicious and inauspicious stars within that space, and we check how they impact people that are living in that particular property. But it's basically all about, it's the art of placement. Yeah. So we want to make sure that how we set up our house really impacts, and I always feel it's all about the nervous system to me. Like, how is it impacting our nervous system? And when our nervous system feels calm, then we make better decisions in our life, then we attract better things in our life. And that's really what Feng Shui is for me, is to
Wow.
attract the right or have the right impact on our nervous systems.
Wow. So it's called what is this? A flying star.
Flying star Feng Shui.
Wow. So I first of all, I never knew it was about farming. I
Yes,
mean,
that's how it all started.
I never, and it's almost like the farmer's almanac, like kind
It
of.
absolutely is. Yeah. So they were looking basically which farmers, when they kind of, which fields were giving a better crop, where the house was, how it was located, where was the front door, where was the back door, where were the mountains, where were the
Wow.
rivers. That was all being observed, and kind of the Feng Shui masters were basically becoming people that were writing it all down, observing it all down, and kind of annotating how the energies are impacting those particular farms. And that's how it's been evolving. Obviously, then they've been hired by Chinese emperors and so on. And now we have, if you go to Hong Kong, the people will hire even feng shui specialists to find the most auspicious place to be buried and which direction they should be facing when they're being buried. So it can go quite wide. But for me, it's, creating the space that gives us the kind of feeling of calm, but not also like that we just calm and we do nothing. We feel
Right.
motivated to do the right things in our life, we have better relationship with members of our family because you can really observe how different parts of our house will impact if you have sons or daughters or your husband or your wife. So it's fascinating.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I never in a million years thought about that. Seriously. And I mean, a lot of times, I think of people really just think it has to do with like colors and furniture placement when you've just explained it. It's far more detailed and
Yes.
intense than that. So, How much of it is really about intuition, using the intuition energies that's within us?
I mean, a lot of it, when you start going into it, it's actually obvious and logical. So I think it's just we stop paying attention to certain details. So yes, there is definitely the art of placement, making sure that our beds are in so-called command position. That helps us sleep better because we feel more secure in our bedroom. If we place our sofa in the right place, again, we'll relax more in our living room. There are obviously people that will come and sense the energy, but we actually all do because I'm sure, Dawn, you entered somebody's house and you go like, you know what? I don't really feel very well in here, and I would like to leave like now and never come back. But you're also going to go to places and you go like, I just want to stay here forever because it just feels perfect. I feel at peace. I feel happy. So we all feel it. It doesn't always mean that we tune into that. And it's not so much spiritual, so I don't talk to spirits or kind of get some kind of divine message.
But
Um,
I think you have that download. You have the download of that
Potentially.
information. You really do.
It's funny, every house I picked in my life. So we have four types of houses in Feng Shui. And it's all about people or money. So we can have a combination of being good for people and good for money, good for people, bad for money, bad for people, but good for money, and then bad for people and bad for money.
Oh
And
my
some
God, I have to have you come to my apartment.
I can do it all
Okay.
remotely. That's the best part.
Okay.
So somehow in my life, I've always managed to pick places that were good for people and good for money, which is that's it's there's very few properties like that. But whenever we moved with my husband, now I know because I've looked at those places and I'll go like, oh, so clearly I've been like, I have some
Yeah.
kind of sense for it.
Yeah.
But like I've grown up in my parents' house, and my parents' house was is still, because they still live there, is bad for people and good for money. And I can definitely say that, we never struggled financially. There was always money for everything. But there was loads of arguments in my household. My parents still till today, even though I feng shui their house every year, I come and move everything with my mom. My mom she introduced me to feng shui, but she never really went into it. And it's much calmer now. It's much calmer, but there was always tension. So we all sense it. But yeah, we all kind of, I don't know. For me, I can't say that because I don't feel like there's a message, but I just enter and I know
But
that it's space.
okay. So very interesting. I completely manifested the place that I live in right now. I left what I felt was really a dream apartment, but it wasn't my own. It wasn't,
Yes.
we moved there on a whim, and we were only supposed to stay a year because we had sold our house, whatever. And we ended up staying 5 years. I mean, it was like a dream. It was on the
Mm-hmm.
water, whatever. But at the end of the day, it wasn't mine. So we were looking and looking and looking, and we just wasn't finding anything. And all of a sudden, I found something.
Yeah.
And we walked in there, and I'm telling you, I knew, like I knew this place was going to be mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're there a couple months now, and for some reason, I can't sleep in this apartment. The I've hung crystals, like quartz crystals, like
Mm-hmm.
all on the windows. I've like saged and fluffed and pretty much did every kind of spirit movement there possibly is. But there's something there
Mm-hmm.
that it's hard for me to explain. Like it's something there for me. Like I don't walk in and go,
So obviously I would have to look in detail
yeah,
at your place.
right. So, So like you were saying about where the bed is. All right. So, you change where the bed is. I did that.
Mhm.
Where the couch is, I managed the couch. I moved it over from I had a designer come in and they said, no, you have to put the couch over here. I'm like, no, you can't see the TV like that. So I moved the couch, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that you know, all that really matters because here I was that I felt like, oh my gosh, this is it. But there's some sort of residual energy that's there.
So definitely like saging helps. Now it might be that it is a bad for people place. And then you have to bring Feng Shui in a form of remedies that you place basically around your house. I mean, it's hard for me to say exactly what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
It might
But
be
just in
that something
general,
is
like,
missing, certain part of your
yeah.
house is missing. If you like, ideally, we should all have perfectly square houses. That's like perfect because then we
Ugh,
don't have any parts of our house that's missing. Something sticking out is okay. But when we have like L-shaped houses, you will always miss certain parts, or
oh,
it will be impacting your life, whichever part of your bagua, and bagua is that energetic kind of blueprint of your house is missing. But when I've moved to this house, I had a very similar experience. I mean, we saw the house that we're currently in here, and both my husband and my son, when we were like absolutely in love, like this was the only property that we all three of us left, and we're like, that is the place. And it took us 6 months that was before I became a Feng Shui practitioner, kind of in like I've done my courses. And we saw it on Saturday. We put our house on the market on Monday, and for 6 months, nothing happened. But so I was trying to kind of the same, manifest the house, and here we are. But well, I'll tell you more about that story in a moment. Now, with your house, when we arrived into this place was empty for about a year. So first of all, I've opened all the windows. I've introduced myself to the house, and we said, we are, we're going to be here and we're going to look after you. So you can definitely kind of become friend with your house. It's a very simple thing that you can do. If you said, Dawn, that you've already placed your bed in a way that is a so-called command position in Feng Shui, which means we have a solid wall behind our headboard. We don't store anything under our bed. I don't know, do you store anything under your bed?
I do. Because it's, I do. Okay, it's coming
What
out
do you
tonight.
keep there? This is always very interesting.
Oh my God, it's coming out tonight.
Ideally, we should keep, because we want the energy to kind of circulate. So we keep
Okay.
nothing. If you have to, and I know this is definitely if you live in an apartment, it's a storage issue.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep anything under your bed and you're not sleeping, great. Make sure that these are things that are very soft, very kind of cushioning. So have like, I don't know, like sweaters or blankets or bedding, but don't keep shoes. I mean, I had a client who it was her husband, and she said he can't sleep. He wakes up at 2 a.m. every day. And I said, well, what's under his bed? And it turned out that he had all of the Christmas decorations and some broken decoration under it. I'm like, well, imagine you are sleeping on Christmas kind of bubbles all year long. I mean, that's not a place to rest.
Oh my
So
gosh.
she
Okay, let me
removed
think
it.
now. So, all right, I'll tell you right now. I have a bag, and it's right because of storage issues, and I am having a whole built-in made in it in the bedroom so that I can
Mhm,
have like more storage. It's coming along. But what's on there now? I'll tell you right now. There's empty
mhm.
suitcases, hard empty
That's
suitcases.
hard, yeah. And dirty as well. Think about it, like where those suitcases been is like on the ground.
Oh
Exactly.
man.
You wouldn't put it in your bed.
No. Oh, as it is, I'm like such a germaphobe anyway. But so yeah, I have that under there, and then I have like bags of like zip storage bags of like linens and blankets.
That's
Uh,
fine.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
And I'm trying to think what else. I mean, it was been a catch-all because, like I said, we just moved in. But so I never thought about that under the bed. And I will tell you this. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine to put stuff under the bed. Like I don't like that. Like to me, that's like, I don't
Yeah,
like that.
so it's ideally you have nothing, so you have it empty and
Oh, it's
clean. I
coming out.
mean,
Yeah.
my son has some storage, but the only thing that's allowed are like cuddly stuff. Nothing like I wouldn't put Lego because you don't want to sleep on Lego. That's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. So think anything that would make you comfortable. So these are things that you can look at. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a bathroom. Where is
Yeah.
the like your bathroom in relation to your bedroom is very important. So if you, for example, have your headboard and the toilet is right behind you, that is not great because toilet is this kind of waste energy. So it kind of
Oh,
drains it out. So you want to avoid that.
that's fine. So in fact, the people that had it before, they did a huge renovation and they swapped where the bedroom was,
Hmm.
having a bathroom inside the bed because it's a one bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So they actually swapped where the bedroom was and where the living room was. So now the living room is where a bathroom, like so there's a bathroom and then there's a living room and then you walk through the kitchen and then you walk through and then a double door and then there's the bedroom. So the
Hmm.
bathroom is a good, it's a little
Quite far
farther.
away.
Yeah.
Quite fair. So that's good. I mean, overall, Feng Shui and bathrooms do not agree. I mean, ideally, we should all have our bathrooms like somewhere far away from our
Oh,
houses,
okay.
which is not very practical in a
No,
modern day
not
and
at
age.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly, especially like you're obviously we're both in Northern Hemisphere, which is like middle of winter now, so you wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, a bathroom that are quite often connected to the bedrooms, they can kind of disturb the sleep. Another thing that, especially in your bedroom, that you can look at. So, sorry, coming back to bathroom, just keep your doors closed. If you have like ensuite bathroom, you just have the door closed. So I can enter my bathroom both from my bedroom and from outside. I never use my bedroom door. It's like shut. And I'm like, I was talking to my husband. I said, maybe we should just board it and not have it because we never use it because it's permanently shut. And I've put a plant in there which again, too many plants in bedroom is not great because they can again, it's a kind of growth energy, and you
Hmm.
should be resting. So another thing in our bedrooms that you can look at that disturb our sleeps and disturb our rest are mirrors. Yeah, so if you have a mirror that is, you can if you go down tonight, and you can maybe think about it now, Dawn. If you lie down in your bed, can you see yourself anywhere while you are lying in bed? Is there
No.
anywhere like a reflection? TVs act as mirror as well.
I don't know about the TV, but no, there's no mirror to the left or the right of me.
That's good because if you do see yourself, you see a reflection. That's like you're subconsciously when you're sleeping,
Uh,
feel someone else in your room. And in some schools of Feng Shui, it apparently also is seen as inviting third parties into your relationship. So I think
Forget
it's
that.
more about subconscious and basically when you're sleeping and every time you move, obviously, then you subconsciously see yourself in reflection. That's why whenever we sleep in hotels, we have those massive TVs typically
Yeah,
right in front of
the
the
bed.
bed. And I
Yeah.
don't know how about you, but I never sleep very well in hotels because first of all I see my reflection, so now I'm putting the biggest towel I can find over the TV when I go to bed, so it's not disturbing me. Plus also if you sleep in a hotel, it's like that mattress have energy of all the people that were sleeping on it,
Huh.
so
Maybe
yeah,
it's
it's a
the
bit.
TV. Maybe it is the
Yeah, think
TV
about it.
because I mean, there's another thing. There's other thing too. And also before I was on ocean.
Okay.
Now I'm on river. It's a different
Okay.
body type, different type of body of water, and I'm not really, and I'm not dead on. I'm to the right. So
Mm.
I'm sure there's a lot of variables there. I don't know. I just figured, let me just ask you. But
Yeah, no, that's fine. But it could be all those things will impact. But inherently, if your house is bad for people, you will feel it. Yeah. And that now the only place or the only way really to solve it is to go deeper within the energies of your house and then trying to see what can we do to solve those issues and place the remedies?
Before we continue, I want you to pause with me for just a moment. Think about what you're hearing right now. Whether it's resonating, is it challenging you, or bringing something up? Is it bubbling up for you? Ask yourself, what evidence am I seeing in my own life about this? Not what you wish was true, not what you've been told should be true, but really it's what patterns are actually showing up. Take that question with you as we dive deeper. So let's transition to money. Okay. So tell me about, like, I know all my listeners are going to want to know, can the
Yes, it's
energy,
everybody's first question.
right? I know it's all about the money. Can energy from your home or your life or your job, like, can all of that just block abundance for you?
Yes, and I think it's all again linked to our nervous system. So
Okay.
if you live
Explain
in a
that.
house where the energy is not flowing, yeah. So quite often when you look at of pictures of like beautiful, wealthy people, how they live, the houses are not covered in clutter. They're very airy. You can access everywhere, kind of sofa from every side. There's space for energy to move. So if you now live in a place that's very cramped, you can't, to get to the sofa, you have to go over, a pile of washing. That will put your nervous system in stress because you're constantly, I have to do the washing, I have to do the ironing, I can't relax really. It doesn't soothe me. We can't rest, then we don't make the right decisions in our life that are linked to our jobs, to our finances. So it definitely impacts. If we live in a place that is not supporting our nervous system in our day-to-day life, we are not going to have the ability to take the right decision. So that's like kind of basics how I see it. So that's why one of the first things that people ask me, like, can you give me one tip? I'm like, declutter. Just start small.
Absolutely. I mean,
Just
that's
declutter
just
and
common sense,
amazing.
though. That's just
It's
common
so
sense.
easy.
I know for me, I cannot, like, if I go into someone's house and it is like really cluttered and messy and unkept, not so much dirty, because that's totally different than just being unkept,
Mm,
right? It makes me like anxious. It makes
yeah,
me nervous. Like
you can't
like
relax.
I can't relax, because for me, in my home, everything has its place. Like, everything's tucked away, the counters are cleaned off. It's not like a lot of stuff around. It's
Mhm.
yeah. So I get that. And that's so easy to do.
It's so easy to do. I think people are always scared it's going to be very overwhelming. So when I was doing in December when we were kind of connected the first time, I did my kind of Christmas challenge. I've asked everyone to allocate 9 minutes. Yeah, 9 minutes every day to declutter small part of your kitchen or your living room or your bathroom. And we don't have to go and revolutionize our house in a day because that's exhausting and that's not the whole point. Plus,
Yeah,
if
and
you
it's
start to,
overwhelming.
it's
It's
overwhelming,
overwhelming. Yeah.
exactly. But if you say that, before you go to bed, you make sure that the kitchen is clean and a lot of it you do with intention, then your nervous system is calm. Yeah. So that is really the basics. Yeah. And then we talk about adding to it, knowing energetically, like if you want to change your career or if you want to get a promotion, that's in your north part of your house. So you can focus on the north. Yeah. If you want to bring more money, that's your southeast part of your house. So check what's in there that potentially is blocking that energy, chi, that is flowing through our life and through our houses and through us, and give that place that little kind of feng shui acupuncture to
I love
make
that.
sure that it flows.
I
Yeah.
love that. So, all right. So if everyone goes to all right, what they find out where they are geographically
Mhm.
on the map, right? North,
So,
south,
so the
east, and
best,
west, find their compass, right?
so ideally what you can do is just grab your mobile phone, yeah,
Okay.
and you can use your like compass app
Okay.
and kind of see where you are in the middle of your like try and imagine if you had to like make a crisscross from the kind of imagine your house is like a square and you go from like the corners and where would they crisscross? That's really the center of your house. And then you put your compass and you start looking which way things are pointing. So
Okay. So
north is
north for me is really like it's at like 1 o'clock, 345 degrees. So
yes,
it's really 1 o'clock.
north. So think like if you want, for example, promotion, if you want to um I don't know, find a new job, look at the north. Yeah, check what's in the north. So if it's very cluttered, and sometimes people say like, "Oh my God, that's the room that nobody goes to."
Uh,
And you go, well, if nobody goes there, the energy can't enter. If it's full of dust, I mean, how do you expect your career to progress? The same for wealth area. So that's our southeast. Yeah, you want to make sure that and there are lots of symbols you can bring that you feel that are bringing wealth to you. Yeah, for you, wealth will be one thing and it will be totally different to what it is for me. Yes, I know everybody always focuses on money, but money can come in different forms. It could come
yeah.
in flexibility of work or more free time or way to travel. So always start to recognize when you start doing those changes, like I am currently, if we looked at my house, it's not perfect feng shui because I'm currently going through a massive renovation. So I have things in the wrong places everywhere. But, if I want to now focus in certain areas of my life, I've lost my son. If I wanted to tell you something, if I want to bring certain kind of things in my life, that's where I would focus on kind of bringing in. So the only place that is really untouched is my office, and it's south. And south is our fame and recognition. So this is where I have on display my certificate of becoming a Feng Shui practitioner because I'm very proud of it. And I keep it very clean. And this is how when I've kind of renovated, and the house we live in has been unkept and unloved for the last 40 years. So we're really kind of bringing it more into life. And I've renovated this place, and my Instagram account went from 300 followers to currently I think 18.8 thousand in a space of like 2 months.
Wow.
So that's how powerful it can be.
Wow. That's crazy.
And yes, what I was
That's
going to say, yes, so
amazing.
I know. So coming to the wealth. So I was cleaning my wealth area, which I currently the builders are. So I'm not, kind of I have to be very, very careful in here. But I've cleaned it up and I've got a massive discount on a kitchen that I've ordered for my new house. And that's money in. Yeah. So we have to also
Yes.
learn to recognize
Yes.
what does it mean that the wealth is coming to us. It could be in a form of a discount.
Yeah. Yeah. And wealth, yes, absolutely. What about like people who like they attract the wrong people in their life, or they attract the wrong, or they accept a position just because the money's good, but really it's not in their passion. It's not, it's like,
So
is that a part of the feng shui too?
absolutely. So this is attracting the helpful people, and that's our northwest. So again, that's another part that you can look and check, like what's happening in that part of my bagua. And I like to put there thank you notes for people that maybe came into my life and helped me. So I just write, obviously I say thank you to them in person, but I have a little box and I would say, thank you for this interview that we have today, or thank you for I don't know, to my builders are doing an amazing job and they were working today in a storm. Those are the things that I would do in that area. If you obviously, well, I also have my right remedies in here, but that I can only tell you when I look at the stars and I look at your floor plan.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Uh, I'm like floored. I love this. This is just,
There's a
just
lot. It's so
there's
much.
a lot, and it's all about the geographics and using a compass and um, figuring out for that person's human design, or we were talking before
Mhm.
the recording went on about the human design. It's all about how, what's in the person's chi, what's in their forecast. It's just
I
really
don't do, the only thing I don't do, and it's amazing. I don't do like the Chinese horoscopes and so on. I
yeah.
can, so this is part that I'm, maybe one day, but not yet. There's so much still that, I learn every day. And this is definitely coming is also from my background because flying stars, it's all about numbers and number combinations. So I always laugh. This is like because I'm obviously ex-banker. So I
I was
came
gonna
from
say that's your
a
finance, so
very
that's the
kind of
finance part of you.
that's the part of finance that see the numbers. I go like, ooh, this is very exciting.
That's crazy. I love that. What's the biggest mistake that you think people make when, fixing their homes or what have you? I mean, you might have touched upon it, but, you know,
I
not,
think the
not
most
keeping it in the square or adding
Well, I
extra.
think it's the clutter. Clutter is the main killer of energy.
Yeah.
Dust is the next one. So, decluttering. And then when you start looking at different parts of a house, I think most of the time when you enter people's homes, is how the entrance looks like because the entrance to our homes is so-called mouth of chi. So even if you live in an apartment block, look at the entrance to your apartment block. Are there like old leaflets lying on the floor, or is it very nice and welcoming? And if there are old leaflets, like lift them, put them in a bin, get rid of them. And it's the same. So most of the time when I come to people's houses, which I don't do very often because I can do it, the best part of it
Yeah.
is I can do it all remotely.
Yeah.
And then if you have clutter, it's you can carry on if that's what you want to do, but it's you have to be aware of the risks that comes with it. But when I go and see people's places, is entrance being full of shoes and old jackets and kind of old posts and kind of unopened parcels. And don't get me wrong, I have, my son, the first thing he does, he will leave his shoes right in the middle of the entrance and jacket on the stairs. And I go like,
It's life.
hold on a second, what's happening in here? So it's funny, my friend today, which I've met up for a coffee, she went like, "Oh, it must be so difficult to live with you." I'm like, "Well, it's just common sense, Like I
Yeah, just pick up your shoes and hang your
pick up
coat.
your shoes and put
Hello.
the jackets where it belongs. Yeah, it's easy."
My gosh. So before we wrap up today, I would really love for you to tell me about this fantastic program that you're starting.
Yeah, so it actually went live this week, but it's going to be available for 2026, and it's a 3 hour kind of self kind of recorded video, so you can watch it at any point in time
Oh,
you
that's
want.
awesome. That's great.
Yes,
That-
so I just wanted because a lot of people obviously want to attract wealth, but the whole analysis, they say it's a bit too much or they can't afford it yet. So I want everyone to feel the magic of Feng Shui. So what I have recorded is how you would place the baga, which we discussed a little bit today, onto your floor plan. And then I kind of go through like the typical money blocks that you can kind of look around your house and kind of mitigate so it helps you. And then I look at, and this I think is the best part of this course, which I've always looked for and I never managed to find, is the annual stars. So where those stars are, and I can already tell you for all of us, our south from February 4th, because that's where we have Feng Shui New Year, not Chinese New Year, but Feng Shui New Year. South is going to be the part of our life that's going to suffer the most, which is our fame and recognition, because this is where we're going to have the annual star of five, and five is like if you imagine the worst doom and gloom, that's star number five. So we all want to, for example, have there things like salt cures. But I go through all the parts of your house according to different directions, which colors to use, or maybe which items to not place to make it most optimal. Now, this is generic, so it's not looking at specifically like on your apartment when
Right,
the roof was put in, like what energy was trapped. So that
right.
is what I do, and it's much deeper. But that can help you already. Like if you know that south is going to be the part that's quite challenging, and also what that might mean, and who knows, it might mean typically if we have five in South, this is where we're going to have lots of scandals potentially, upheavals, and yeah. So if you want
Oh,
to
great.
kind of make sure, yes, so you want to mitigate that. And you can mitigate it with definitely starting with a salt cure. And there's some other remedies that you can place there or things that to avoid in that part of your house. Now, this is all very high level in a way that you can use color. Obviously, if you would get like a full analysis from me, I would. I mean, the worst thing that I tell people to do, because I don't ask anyone to put any statues that, quite often with Feng Shui, people associate they need to get like a statue that maybe is not exactly fitting into the core that they are after. So the worst thing that I ask people to place is metal, which actually have to come in a physical form of metal. So I tell you the exact amount of kilograms that you need to place. So currently I have 24 kilograms of metal under my desk.
That's wild. So that I love that. So all right, so the program it's all recorded so people can
Watch it
listen
wherever
to
they
it and
are.
watch it as they are, yeah, as they
Exactly.
can with the
Mhm.
compass in hand, make their own notes, move on. That's great. I love that. And it's general. I mean, it's I'm sure it's going to help anybody
A
who
100%. Yeah. And
who
also we go through setups of your bedroom, your sofas,
yeah.
your office, bathroom. So you have like a little checklist for all the rooms in your house. So you can go and say like, energetically, is it all, do I have a lot of expired cosmetics in my bathroom? Tick or no tick. So it should be very easy for anyone to actually optimize their homes as much as possible on their own.
That's awesome. So we're gonna have the all the information on the show notes that
Mhm.
so that everyone can get to it. But just give me the website and or the what the link is. So
So you can find me under the Feng Shui Wand. So the website is www.thefengshuiwand.com. And you will find it's called Abundance Blueprint for 2026. And yeah, you can start literally the moment you purchase it, it's yours and you can start watching it.
oh my
And I'm
gosh.
always available for people to ask me any questions. I love to. I run on my Instagram. I run weekly Q&A sessions. If anyone has any questions about Feng Shui or a specific part of their house, or this week we had questions about unfriendly neighbors. What can we do about it? Because you feel like their energy. So yeah, all sorts of things.
Oh my gosh. I love that. So do you do anything else besides any other social media besides Instagram or just
I
Instagram?
only do Instagram. So I only started Instagram. And I have LinkedIn, but I never post there. So it's only Instagram.
Oh wow.
It feels like it's already a lot with the massive growth that I had recently. But I say that's my fame and recognition. It definitely worked. So I
Yes.
can't wait to get my hands on my wealth area to finish that part.
Susanna, it was so nice to meet you. And thank you so much for like giving all this information out. I know you're going to do fabulous. And I know people are
Thank you.
going to be contacting you. And I think I'm going to be one of your first clients today after this session. So thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute joy to chat with you today.
All right, everybody. See you on the flip side. We'll see you next month. Take care. Okay, I'm completely inspired and hope you are too. So here's what I want you to do this week. I I want you to track where are you strong in your 5 dimensions: clarity, intuition, evidence, belief, and action. And where are you guessing? And I want you to be honest about it. If you want to know exactly which dimension is blocking your manifestations, take my free MQ assessment. Head over to whatsyourmq.com right now. It only takes 3 minutes. You'll get your personalized score. You'll see exactly where you land and what you need to do next. This is Modern Wisdom with me, Dawn Ricci. Keep going. You got this.